What's up, guys? It's the Transylvanian, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about some of these false metal posers again. Got a couple to go over. The first one is that dude from Motionless in White. Possibly the biggest poser in all metal history is that guy. And here's why. So, I had heard this through various sources and decided to look it up myself, and I did find the interview. And the dude was talking about that in his spare time he likes to go to Taylor Swift concerts. I'm like, ugh. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, these guys, Motionless in White, Slipknot, Slaughter to Prevail, all these guys that listen to this mainstream stuff like that, these are not true metalheads. And I don't mean that you can't listen to things outside of metal and still be true, but these guys don't even know what real metal is. They don't. I guarantee you that dude, the most metal thing he knows is like Asking Alexandria or maybe Slaughter to Prevail. He probably knows that weak shit. But what he doesn't know is that the stuff that he calls metal isn't metal, and that I know records from the 80s that are more extreme than his entire catalog. One of them is not even a metal record, and that is the Crime for Revenge EP, one of the best hardcore EPs of all time. Absolutely smokes all of fucking sissy ass Motionless in White's catalog. That shit's weak as shit. Or Bathory, 1984. More extreme than all of Motionless in White's catalog, more extreme than all of Slipknot, and I could possibly even say more extreme than everything Slaughter to Prevail puts out. Because it is. So, and what's funny about this is that would be the kind of guy who might not know who Bathory is. Wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. Because he doesn't listen to this stuff. He's not a metalhead. He puts himself out there, this extreme personality, true metal fan, but he's not. Just isn't. He never talks about any of the metal stuff that he does listen to, and I guarantee you, if he did, like I said, it would be mainstream normie stuff, like Metallica, or, Pantera, Slipknot, the deathcore stuff. That dude doesn't know real metal. And same for that Slaughter to Prevail. Dude, I've literally seen that dude, and I don't know what it is with these deathcore and metalcore bands trying to, do covers of pop songs and stuff. Dude, that is the biggest, turn-off, for me at least, as a true metal fan, because I absolutely despise that kind of music and that mainstream Hollywood simpleton trash. I absolutely hate it. So when I see that, in the metal scene, you're saying you're into metal, but you're doing, covers of pop songs and stuff like that, it's dude, that's literally made for kids. I'm telling you, this stuff is just wimpy, watered down metal. And a lot of these guys don't know the real shit, and they never will. I guarantee you, that Slaughter to Prevail stuff, and from what I've heard, it's pretty damn weak. That stuff is not extreme at all. I don't consider it extreme. If you put that up against some of the early 90s black metal records, like Black Metalist Creed from Nargaroth, dude, that Nargaroth fucking blows that shit away. Destroys it. Absolutely annihilates it. Blows it up into a million little fucking pieces. Shrapnel fucking flying everywhere. Destroys it. And then when you get into the Vlad Tepes mutilation stuff, dude, that's way more extreme than that sissy ass shit. And that came out all the way back then. Over 30 years ago. And that is supposed to be extreme music? Dude, those guys wouldn't know what extreme music was if it slapped them upside the head. And not only is that stuff more extreme than their entire catalog, they've never even heard of it. I guarantee you, If you walked up to that Slaughter to Prevail guy, Alex Terrible, like what type of weak ass name is that anyway? A true metal name's like Black Goat Grave Desecrator. That's a true metal name, if I do say so myself. And you go up to him and you ask him, hey, what do you think about Vlad Tepes or Mutilation? I guarantee you he would tell you he's never even heard of it. Same goes for that Nargaroth. Guarantee you he's never heard of that Nargaroth record before. Guarantee it. I could bet money that he doesn't know that shit. And same goes for that poser from Slipknot. That Corey Taylor. Talking about he listens to Falling in Reverse. And then this other person that I literally had to research because I had no idea who she was. Some person, Megan Trainor, he listens to this shit. Dude, I looked up one song, it was deplorable as fuck. It was as bad as that Taylor Swift shit. And funny thing about that, little story time for you on this one. I didn't even know who she was until I was like 15. I really didn't. Because I grew up listening to metal music, for the most part black metal and death metal, with a little bit of thrash in there. But I remember all these people talking about that when I was younger, the Taylor Swift. I had no idea who she was. Someone came up to me and asked me, like, oh, did you hear the new Taylor Swift? I was like, dude, who even is that? And this person couldn't even believe it. Jaw dropped all the way to the floor. You don't know who she is? I'm like, no. I was like, dude, why would you think that someone like me, who likes raw, aggressive, dark and evil music, would want to listen to that shit? Why would you think that? Or are you like slow in the head? Do you not understand what I'm really about? Is that what it is? And they're like, oh, well, I'll play it for you. Maybe you'll think it's okay. 15 seconds in, I was like, alright, you can turn that off now. I've heard it, and I certainly don't want to hear it again. It's absolutely deplorable and gay as fuck. Don't want to hear it again. And they're like, oh, I can't believe you wouldn't at least like her voice. No, I don't. It sounded like nails on a chalkboard. Wanted to rip my eyelashes out and eat them. It was so horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever heard. And that Megan Trainor was just as deplorable as that. Sissy shit, just pansy stuff. That I could not imagine a grown man with a nutsack listening to. Honestly, could not imagine it. But he does. And yeah, his other favorite metal band, Falling in Reverse. To this day, I don't even know what that is, but I would assume it's probably metalcore. It literally sounds like it would. That sounds like Asking Alexandria. That was another stupid ass band that was popular when I was a kid. You'd get those guys walking up to you. Oh, what do you think of Asking Alexandria? No, I don't listen to that stuff. I like Mutilation and Crystal Knock. Do you ever hear of them? No, you didn't? Of course you didn't. 'Cause that's real shit for real men. Of course you didn't hear of that. That's what I'm talking about, dude. And that Slipknot poser, all that stuff he listens to, Bathory, more extreme, more aggressive, more, I guess you could say more offensive, because they touched on a lot of those occult topics. Like the occult stuff, lyrically, is definitely more extreme than what Slipknot does. And not to mention, Slipknot's not even metal, so all these people calling it that, dude, you sound dumb as shit. Even when I was a kid, most people I knew that even liked that stuff considered it hard rock. So quit trying to ingest massive amounts of copium and tell yourself that, oh, the stuff I listen to is metal too, just because you want to be a part of this community, but you're really not, because you're a poser. Hate to break it to you. That's all it is. And all those guys in that scene, 97.9% of them are posers. I just have to put it out there. Because a lot of people like defending it. Dude, there's nothing to defend. These are guys who don't know who Bathory is. Who probably don't know who Overkill is. Shit, some of them might not even know who Slayer is. And I mean the good Slayer albums, like Show No Mercy, Rain and Blood. No, they know the mainstream new shit. When Slayer wimped out, because they most certainly did, they became a poser fest as well. But I guarantee you they don't know those 80s records. I know for a fact they don't. And if they did, it's only because they're so mainstream. That's the only reason. But when you start asking them about more like underground stuff from the 80s and 90s, they won't know what that stuff is. Especially not when you get into the extreme stuff, the death metal and the black metal. You think those guys know the Dismembered demo, Reborn and Blasphemy? Dude, they've never heard of that shit in their whole life. And it's more extreme than anything that any of them, all three of those sissy-ass bands, more extreme than anything than they have put out. More extreme than all of it. I'm telling you right now. And another thing they sure as fuck haven't heard of is that Grand Belial's Key Go to 1,000 Young demo. Guarantee you they've never heard of that. Just guarantee it. And that's more extreme than everything those bands have ever put out. Hate to break it to you. It's the truth. If you don't like it, go pound sand. And they can go pound some too. Seriously, dude. I'm not here to defend people that claim to be in my scene but don't know the classics, that would probably not even know about King Diamond or something like that, and then they don't know about the classic extreme shit. You know, this is what I'm talking about, dude. If you say that you're into extreme music and you're a musician, you got no excuses, dude. But no, because they're not into extreme music, and that's why the stuff they make is so weak. Because they don't even listen to extreme music. They're out there listening to girly-ass pop stuff and some weak metalcore or deathcore. They don't know the extreme shit. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.